Hey, Ari here, leader of the race mixing revolution. I wanted to make a strange video about randomness and the ways that we judge randomness. So, randomness is when something happens or somebody does something that is just random, that is just unpredictable, and doesn't necessarily follow the right path. It's absurd. I love this word absurd. This concept is very important to me, and randomness falls in line with that concept. And a lot of times we judge people for their randomness. And people have a certain capacity for doing something random, doing something that doesn't fall perfectly in line with all the other events of what is going on in that moment. Things will be happening a certain way, and then somebody will just kind of randomly diverge, go in their head is in another space. Because there's so many lives that are happening, one life here, one life there. So how do they all come together? And how do we judge each other based on the random things that'll happen to you or the random things that you do? A lot of the time we'll experiment with this in our childhood, trying to do something random and see if it fits in the situation. And we like to think that we take that into our adulthood as well, that we have something that we need to say in addition to whatever is currently being said or currently going on in our places of work, in our households, with our friends, wherever it might be, in society at large. There are random things that happen. And what is the opposite of random? If we're trying to understand what randomness is, we have to understand the opposite of it as well. So what is the opposite of random? Do we even have a word for that? We just assume it's just normal. It's just the way it should be. It's regular. It's not random. It's as it should be. It's very interesting though that we don't have a very specific word for just normal phenomena. I guess normality, but we don't have as an intense judgment about it as randomness, because I think randomness a lot of times we judge it as some kind of a mental health issue. If somebody is too random, they obviously have mental health problems, and that's a judgment we make. When obviously the extremes of it would be somebody that is so random that they're maybe like split personalities or schizophrenic or something, and their mind is just all over the place and they cannot even be in the moment in any way possible. And on the other extreme, we have people who are very much so in the moment, but they're maybe obsessive or they're fixated and they can't be random. And that implies that there is a healthy sense of randomness to everything that we do. So when you judge somebody for their randomness, when somebody says something that's a little off, says something kind of weird, and says something that's kind of personal but kind of relates to the moment and these kind of things, even when I'm random, take a second look at your judgments on that randomness. Maybe it's not so random after all. Maybe that's the lesson that we can take from our judgments on randomness. That we're not that random. That everything that we do or we say has some reason for it. Whether it's a good reason or not, that's something we have to judge. But there's some reason for it. And even in reality, there are a lot of things that happen that we think, oh, it's just random. It's so random. But science is a brilliant thing because it has given us an appreciation for the random, for all the random things that can happen, things that just happen, that don't need to be our destiny for what we see and what we hear and feel and study and look at and test and experiment with and pay attention to and talk about. We can do that with any random thing. And this has become some kind of a creative mental flex. Look how random I can be. And we judge somebody. We say, wow, he's incredibly random. Sometimes a scientist will be saying, wow, he has these facts about life that are so specific and through his field that he's gotten to this point where he can say that, but it's still so random. And we respect him for his randomness. But sometimes people, I think, get confused about this sense of pride of randomness, and they just try to be random for the sake of it. And that kind of spoils that pride of randomness. But it's very interesting, even now as I'm saying these things and talking about it, that randomness is an important part of our society, of Western culture and human culture in general, is our ability and our capacity to take a look at the random and then bring it back into what is normal and what is less so controversial. random, having this constant balance of taking some of the random, bring it back in. Taking some of the random thing here and there, and maybe they can connect with each other and then come back to what really defines you, to what is not random, to what is the destiny, to what is your life's mission, to what is a clear-cut path. So thanks for listening. I hope you understand a little bit about that, the sense of randomness that you have in the back of your head. And maybe you'll be better at judging randomness in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I got a lot more videos coming out in the future. Please share my video, copy the link, send it to some people, share it on social media. Please support me on Patreon. As little as $1 a month, you can help me in these very critical early phases of the revolution, help me build it from the ground up. Please remember my words and take them with you into the future. And thanks for watching again. I'll see you next time.